Welcome to FogBugz. As we get started with training around the product, it's helpful to learn a few key terms that you'll see referenced often. The first is a case. A case is the basic unit of work in FogBugz, what might be called a ticket in other tools. So a case can be a bug report, a task, a feature request, an email, really you name it. Cases let you organize all of your work in FogBugz. So to start, I'm going to give this case a title. And if I wanted to open the case at this stage, basically to save it without filling in any of these additional fields, FogBugz lets me do that. None of these fields are mandatory, which means that you can simply open a case with whatever information you have at the time and fill in all of the other details later. But for the purposes of this webinar, let's talk about some of the other fields that help you organize your work. Cases in FogBugz can be organized into projects and then further subdivided into areas. So you can think of a project in FogBugz as an entire product, meaning that it doesn't have a specific end date, but it consists of all of the related work associated with a given product. So for this case, I'm going to put it in the sample project. And your work can be further subdivided into areas. Areas might be front end, back end, documentation, or any other subdivision that's relevant to a particular project. So for example, if this case was automatically generated by an incoming email, it would fall under the inbox project. And I can subdivide my inbox into cases designated for my support team by clicking on the appropriate area. So there are many things that you can do to add specifications to this case. You can set due dates, you can assign to different members of your team, but right now I'm going to start just by opening the case. Now, let's say I have done my work on the case and now I want to indicate that I'm done. I can do this by resolving the case in FogBugz. And one of the beauties of FogBugz is that work never gets lost. You can't delete a case, and even if you close it out entirely, it's still searchable later. This helps ensure that there's always accountability and transparency on your team. And resolution statuses are unique to each project. There would allow you to create different workflows for separate teams or projects. So for example, this project that is the inbox project within the support area allows me to have a different workflow than what I might have, say, for a project that's specifically related to code on a specific product. In this case, I'm going to indicate that the work is resolved and implemented. So in this particular workflow, I have the permission to resolve and close this case. But for example, in some instances, if a manager wants to review my work to make sure that it's indeed complete, your admin might customize this workflow so that it can only be resolved but not closed. With this customization, it's also possible to automatically assign a case that's resolved and implemented to either the manager or the person who opened the case so that there's full transparency when the work is completed.